One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
They think the machine never break. Sometimes the battery hit red. I ain't stopping, I'm just rebooting. Why the bounce back? Go! Go! Eyes heavy like I'm lifting weight with my eyelids. Brain foggy, feeling like I'm stranded on an island. Coffee pot empty and the energy is silent. Fighting with the demons in my head, getting violent. Staring at the screen, but the progress isn't moving. Spinning on the wheels, tell me what am I proving? Body aching, bad breaking, losing all the grooving. Every single step feels like I'm just losing. Working 24, but the needle barely nudging. Feel like I'm a hammer, but the wall isn't budging. Burn on creepy, yeah, the shadow is a trudging. Doubters on the sideline, yeah, they always judging. Is it worth the stress? Is it worth the hypertension? Did I make the turn? Did I lose the dimension? Need a little break, need a little intervention. Before I crash out and I lose the retention. When I'm feeling fried, sucker to your sizzling. Vision getting blurry and the rain start drizzling. Also feeling heavy, motor vision and fizzling. Waiting for the steak, but I don't hear the sizzling. But I can't quit, now I came to the flag. Even when I'm dragging and I'm feeling like a rag. Got too many gold packed inside the bag. Gotta push through even when I hit the lag. Just need a minute, just need to close the blinds. Disconnect the server, disconnect the lines. Lay the head down, let the body unwind. So I can wake up and get back on the grind. I'm burned out, but I ain't bowed out. No, just need a nap, then I'm back on the route. Told her high for a second, shut the world out. Wake up a beat, scream and shout. Woo. I can let them see me lose, I can give them that. They waiting on the crumble, waiting on the splat. My drive is too big, yeah, I'm taking it back. Just a power nap, then I'm back on attack. They sitting in the stands with a popcorn ready. Praying that my knees buckle, hoping I ain't steady. Wanna see the downfall, wanna see it messy. Wanna see me crash like a stolen Chevy. I see the side eyes, hear the whispers in the dark. Waiting for the flame to extinguish the spark. They wanna see the dog loot a bite in the bark. But I'm a gray white swimming like a shark. If I quit now, man, I win the whole game. If I slow down, they gon' tarnish the name. Gotta feed the fire, gotta feed the flame. Satisfaction that they seek is a damn shame. I ain't gon' give it to them, never gon' fold. Story of my fair is a story never told. My desire to win is worth my goal. Bigger than the hate that they tryna hold. So I take a rest, yeah, I hit the pillow hard. Reboot the system, pull the ace from the car. Keep the haters locked out, stand in the yard. While I recharge the battery and lower down the guard. Just for an hour, let the new runs reset. Wake up cleaner than I ever been yet. Ready for the war, ready for the threat. Gonna make them pay every single little debt. They want me to crumble, they want me to crack. But I bounce back like a rubber on the track. Sleep is the weapon, get the mind intact. Then I hit the gas, never looking back. I'm burned out, but I ain't bowed out. No, just need a nap, then I'm back on the route. Close the eyes for a second, shut the world out. Wake up a beat, scream and shout. Woo. I can let them see me lose, I can give them that. They waiting on the crumble, waiting on the splat. My drive is too big, yeah, I'm taking it back. Just a power nap, then I'm back on attack. Okay, I'm up now, white across the eye. Looking in the mirror, no more disguise. Demon on my shoulder, yeah, he finally died. Energy is peaking, reaching for the sky. Thought I was dumb and you must be crazy. Thought the burnout meant that I was getting lazy. Vision was blurry, now it ain't hazy. Pushing up Daisy, now I'm pushing Mercedes. Word didn't change, but the mind stay with flip. Got a new Megan, I put in a clip. Haters looking sick, yeah, they starting to trip. Watching me instant while they sinking in the ship. Progress was slow, now I'm moving like speed. Planting whole force when I planted the seed. Satisfy the want, satisfy the need. Made the competition turn around and bleed. I do this for the win, I don't do it for the likes. Coming up the mountain while you riding on trikes. Heading for the top, yeah, I'm planning the strikes. Running up the score, yeah, I'm racking up strikes. Turning the engine, failure's not an option. Turning every obstacle into adoption of a new method. Yeah, I'm swapping and I'm copying. Only thinking is the records that I'm popping. Burner was a lie, it was just a little test. Put a head down, got a little bit of rest. Now I'm back stronger, pounding on the chest. Put me to the trial and I asked the question. Yeah, I'm wide awake now. You shouldn't have blinked. I can let them see me lose. My drive is bigger, be a head, be bigger than a hate. Better work, 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 better work. Let's get it. Okay.
Well, how is everyone doing tonight? I am TechnoTralf. We are Engineer to Win. We're going to have a very, very event-packed night. My goal for tonight is to finish up publishing the apps on iOS and on Google Play Store, or the time cost calculator, and then we are going to be looking into pivoting into our very next app. What is that? Well, funny that you ask. My goal is to turn the Tech Barbarian coaching portal, which I am going to be having available to everyone early February, but I also want to create a mobile app for it, Android, iOS. That way you can use all the features, because there's some things I want it to be able to do that it's not able to do to the web. So we already have the web version running. Mostly it's just being tested right now. Then We're going to start working tonight if we have time. I think we will, because all you have to do is really publish the time cost calculator, but start building out the mobile version of the Tech Barbarian coaching portal. That way the web version will be live early February and we can work our way to getting the mobile. I hope it should be very, very easy, just because everything is already done. And now we just need to say build a mobile and connect to the Superbase. We have experience building mobile with time cost calculator and the speech coaching app. And we have experience connecting a mobile app to Superbase. So it should, knock on wood, go pretty smoothly, but we shall find out. We shall find out. How is everyone doing tonight? How was your weekend? If you had a long weekend, if you had to work yesterday, how was your weekend? I was off from work, but you know, us here, we are always working. We don't miss. So if we're not working for our regular job, we're still working for ourselves. How was your Martin Luther King Jr. birthday yesterday? How was your weekend? All of that good stuff. Let's take care of a little bit of housekeeping really, really quick. And then we're going to get into the show. First and foremost, thank you so much to all of the subscribers. Meematify is already here. Junior's already here. Shout out to my guy, Rod Brown. I was talking to him earlier. Shout out to Magnetar. Shout out to everybody who supports the channel, who is helping us grow, who is helping us win, who is helping us spread this tech message across the world. My Tech Barbarians, which I'm going to mention about that in a little bit. We do have our first Vibe Coding show for 2026 coming up this Saturday, the 24th at 2 p.m. Eastern time. But shout out to my Tech Barbarians working so hard day in and day out. I can see the growth. I can see, like, we just had our scrum night the other night and everybody was on camera and it was an absolutely fantastic time. Shout out to my Tech Barbarians and of course my Tech Mercenaries, who are the YouTube channel members who help this message, this tech inspiration, this tech mindset go across the entire world. Every last one of you. Number one, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Number two, we are the absolute best. There is no one better.
We the best.
And number three, let's go out there and continue forever and ever to get it.
Let's get it.
All right. Yesterday, I released a candid conversation about confidence. Stop cowering down. Stop being so scared to. I hate when people say, sorry to bother you. Hope you don't get mad at me for communicating. No. I say, be confident, be bold. That's what they hired you to do. That's what people communicate with you. They want to know your thoughts, your expertise, your input. So go ahead and speak and be unapologetic about it. Go ahead and speak. Go and check out that video. It is absolutely amazing. It is going to help you grow and win wherever it is that you go. Tomorrow, I'm going to be sharing with you what I believe is the greatest, your best skill, your most important skill that you're going to need in the tech space, as well as in life, but particularly in the tech space. I'm going to be sharing with you what I believe is the greatest skill that you need. All right, for tech and life, but for tech mainly. Right. That's going to be tomorrow, noon Eastern time, software explorations, concept and overviews. And I'm going to be showing you how I recently used that skill this past Friday night with my Tech Barbarian and the growth that will come from that. All right. So check it out tomorrow, noon Eastern time. And then we're going live on Thursday. We're going to be finishing up our Stream Deck plugin. Everything is working exactly like I wanted to. We're going to be packing it up. We're going to be, I found a way to log into my other Mac from this computer. So we're going to be logging into that Mac and we're going to be testing out the Stream Deck plugin to make sure it installs on the other Mac. And if so, I'm going to put it to Patreon. We're going to see how we can get it to go to this, if we can get it on the Stream Deck Elgato platform. And then we'll probably right then and there make a copy of that plugin and reduce it down for a free version, all of that good stuff. All right. So that is what we got coming up for this week. It's a lot. It is a lot.
Are you ready?
I mentioned about my Tech Barbarians, my Tech Coach Ralph, Tech Coach Ralph.dev members, my technical explorers, the Patreon members, I have something for you. We're going to be diving more into it on Saturday at our Vibe Coding show, but I'm going to show you what you can do now. If you are a member of the Tech Coach Off Patreon at a technical explorer level, you get access to resume flow included in your Patreon membership. That means, and you get the starter plan. So let me show you real quick. Resume flow. We're gonna go over to resume flow, right? And we're gonna take a look at the pricing. For the starter plan, it's $9.99, right? $9.99 for a starter. Basically, what you pay for the Patreon, right? And you get 30 resume versions that can be saved over there. You get 75 job applications tracked. This is 30 total that's stored. 75 applications tracked per month. 75 compatibility analysis per month. 150 interview prep sets, interview question preps per month. That's what Resume Flow gives you. And if you are a Tech Coach Off Patreon member, you get that included as a Patreon benefit, right? And the way to do it, when you go to resumeflow.app, just click on this little sign in button right here. You see sign in with Patreon. I'm going to do it for you. And you say allow, and bada bing, bada boom, it's going to check your tier in the Tech Coach Off Patreon. And if it is at a technical explorer tier, then you will be granted a starter account for Resume Flow, and you can start using it to your heart's desire. That is so. The reason that I'm doing this, I was thinking, I said, you know what? I don't want to only add value through the words that I say, through reactions, through just showing you how I'm working. I want to add value to you, to every last one of you, through the work that we are doing. So when we build applications, that's going to add value, that's going to help you level up in the tech space. I want to make it available to my Patreon members, my tech barbarians, my technical explorers, to everyone who is part of the Patreon. And that way, when you connect it, you're like, okay, it's not a separate charge. It's not a separate charge. You get access to, which I think it's more than enough. My tech barbarians, they get, like the ones that I'm coaching, they get enterprise access. They have unlimited everything. But because I'm not a member of my own Patreon, because it wouldn't work like that, it says that I have the free. But if you were a technical explorer, the lowest paid tier, you automatically get access to the starter, and it's going to say 0 of 30 used, and it's going to say resume analysis, all that good stuff, right? So check that out. That is a benefit that we are offering for the Tech Coach Off Patreon members. And once the Tech Barbarian coaching portal is ready, you will get access to that as well. So you're going to be saving a lot of money. You know what? I think at some point,
one more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Because the coaching portal, that's going to be like a $20 value on its own that I'm going to be giving to my Patreon members. So I might at some point grandfather the current Patreon members in, and then up the price because I mean, that's going to be like, for $10 you're getting $30 worth of value, and then everything else that we build, I'm going to be making it accessible to you guys. So just letting you know, I am sharing the wealth with you guys. If my team builds it, we provide it to you. techcoachoff.dev. Don't miss out. It pays for itself. And very soon you're gonna be making money off of it, right? So just wanted to share that with you. That is the latest benefit. resumeflow.app. Go to techcoachoff.dev, sign up, and then log in to Resume Flow to get access to the starter plan. Start uploading your resume, start comparing your jobs, see how you match up to the job, and then start applying for jobs and getting interview questions so that you can be well on your way. And we are in the process of adding more features as well, because I want you to make
More money, more money, more money.
Right? Right? You feel me? You feel me? All right. So that I just wanted to share that with you. That is the latest benefit to this channel, to the work that we do at TakeControl.dev, and it's going to keep on coming, going to keep on providing to all of you. All right. So just wanted to let you guys know, and that's it. All right. Let me check the chat real quick, and then we will jump into, take the chat, and then we'll jump into our icebreaker for tonight. So we got my guy Junior in the building with the what's up family. What's good with you, Junior? And we got me, Mysify, in the building with the good evening, Ralph and Junior, and the chat. Hope all is well. I hope you're doing fantastic as well, me, Mysify. And you says, I dropped a video this weekend. What? That is awesome. I gotta go check it out on the BHG, by His Grace Explorations. Nice. Where were you at? I'm gonna, you know what? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. See if I can see where in the world was Junior Largy. You guys remember Where in the World was Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world was Junior Largy? At BHG Explorations. And let's go over here. Okay, you were so let's take a look at it real quick. Junior was exploring the Everglades in West Palm Beach, Grassy Waters and Hog Hammock Trail. You guys go, you know, I'm gonna drop a link to Junior's channel in the chat. That way you can go and check it out for yourself. But I'm excited. I'm excited to watch this video. After the show, I'm gonna go straight to watching this video. Let me drop it in the chat for you guys. Boom, there you go. All right, let's go over to, see what else we got. Cool. All right, that's everything. All right, so I want to jump into this quick little icebreaker for tonight. And it was about, you guys know that I am a QA engineer. I've been doing QA engineering for the past, we're in 2026, past 15 years, I would say. I started in 2009, although I've been QAing all my life, to be honest with you. But officially back in 2009 is when we got the show started, and here we are. So let's go ahead and jump into this icebreaker. And the question is artificial intelligence in quality assurance a horror story? I will say this before I even jump into, it's a Reddit post. Before I even jump into this Reddit post, I would say, depending on the language that you're using and depending on what stage that you're at, it is definitely a horror story, because I've tried to have AI write unit tests, and it ended up costing me a fortune. It's true. So let's jump into this Reddit post real quick. It says, AI prompt-driven UI test sounded easy. Then the upgrade nuked the suite. Oof. That's tough. We had a long-term client who had a bad history with UI automation. Years ago, the test got flaky and kept failing for dumb reasons, so they dropped automation altogether. Aw, that sucks. Aww. Fast forward to mid-2025. We had a few manual QAs on the project. The client is very AI forward and really did not want the usual playwright code approach. Their idea was basically tell an agent what to do in plain English and it just does it. In mid-2025? That sounds like a terrible idea. I'm in a bind, Nate. Less code, more human language. I mean, in theory, it sounds great. So we tried Stagehand. Okay, what is Stagehand? Stagehand is a skilled technician. Okay, that's not it. So there goes Stagehand. Stagehand, the AI browser automation framework. We built an OSS alternative to Playwright that's easier to use and lets AI reliably read and write on the web. We're probably gonna have to go and check this out at some point. Let me see. NPX create browser app. Let me see. Just the Discord link. Where's the GitHub for this? So basically, page go to browser store, page extract the price of first cookie, page add the first cookie to the cart. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about this. We're definitely gonna have to try it out. We're going to have to try this out to see if this is actually a viable tool. Maybe next week. Maybe next week we'll give this a run through. Maybe we'll give it a run on the coaching portal. All right. Anyways, it says so we tried stagehand. The test looks super readable like this. Page act click login, page act type username, page act type password. Reality check, it did not make things faster or simpler. I mean, this is a lot, to be honest with you. It's not like you have to go and chase selectors down, but selectors are kind of like the least of things. I would just want to write, like, if I could just take the test case and just say, go automate this test case, then that would be a step forward. Writing tests still took a lot of time because the docs and examples did not cover enough edge cases and the runs were not stable. When the flow was even slightly more complex than basic forms, the AI would sometimes do the wrong thing or get confused or pick the wrong element. So we spent time babysitting prompts instead of building solid coverage. Oh. And here's the thing, when it comes to QA, when it comes to quality assurance and software testing, you are putting the most riskiest part in the hands of AI. That's why, like, I think you can use AI to assist, but to do everything for you, to make sure that it's actually navigating through the application, that is a bit risky. And in my opinion, I would want to maybe get some ideas from AI, but I want to be a lot more in control. And that's why a lot of times, although I might let like when we're vibe coding, we'll let AI write a lot of the code and we'll inspect it. We'll look at all the prompts. But when it comes to testing, we always have to be thorough in our testing because guess what? The work that we put out there is our representation to the world. That's our representation to the world. So we have to be very, very careful about that. Then the worst part, Stagehand shipped an update that changed how it works with Playwright under the hood. After upgrading, our existing test started to fail. Pinning versions was not really an option because browser versions move, Playwright moves with them, and Stagehand followed that chain. Also, there was no clear migration path for updating the test. Oh my God.
Bruh.
And I'll say this, that is the danger of using tools that layer additional tools. So when they upgrade, when they update, you become held hostage. You become held hostage to the tool. And especially if it is a paid tool. That's why for me, I personally like to use straight up Playwright, straight up Selenium, straight up whatever, Cypress. But I don't like these wrappers, because then it's like you end up having a middleman. And now you like, if we were to use straight AI to write straight Playwright, then I'm cool with that. But the fact that there's this middleman that they can just change something and that it can just mess up all of your hard work, it hurts. So now we're basically going back to plain Playwright and using AI only as a helper while writing code, not as a runtime brain for the test.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
This is what happens. That is why I'm very, very hesitant. See, with code writing, you can have it writing in small chunks and you can do very, very thorough review. But when you are trying to have it control and dictate all of your QA processes, at least for now, hopefully it gets better in the future. But I've seen, because even automation isn't 100% right now. It is very, very flaky. So now we're trying to put on top of the automation AI, which is flaky as well. So if we can have, because humans write automation, but the slightest change in the website, slightest change in the timing that it takes a page to load, everything fails. And you can only control that so much. So that's why I'm always very, very careful. Anyone here tried large language model wrapper style tools for UI automation in real projects? Did you get them stable long-term, or is it mostly a fancy proof of concept thing right now? I personally think a majority of it is fancy proof of concept when it's a wrapper. Now, if you're using AI to say, this is the user story, here are my test cases. Can you see any additional test cases? Read the repo, all of that. I think you have a better chance with that. But when you try to outsource your automation to AI, or your software testing in general to AI, that can be a recipe for disaster. And if you outsource your last line of defense for an application, for a company, to artificial intelligence, you might end up hearing, "Do not come." All right, let's take a look at the comment, the responses real quick. Pretty much everyone that uses AI to write all their code has a horror story. The entire industry is snake oil right now. I disagree with that. No, I don't disagree. If you use it to write all of your code, then you're going to have a horror story, because there's definitely going to be mistakes. But I think non-technical people are more inclined to use AI to write all of their code. But what are they really pushing out there anyways, to be honest with you? Because large language model usefulness ends as a helper that might speed up some tasks here and there, in my opinion. As a Playwright noob, I found it helpful in crafting selectors based on HTML snippets extracted from the browser and a description of what I want to achieve. I don't think my resulting Playwright code is top notch, but it fits the scope and purpose. See, there goes the way that AI is very, very useful, is helping me get better selectors. I do think that as a QA engineer who is doing automation, you definitely want to step up your selector game. That is the most important part of automation. I don't really care about the syntax. I don't really care about the page object model. All of those things can be learned. But if you do not have good selectors, your tests will fail on a regular basis, and you do not want flaky tests. It's embarrassing. It's like having dandruff in your test, right? Dandruff is not cool. Shampoo your test, right? Shampoo your test. It says, writing to, all right, so they're responding to that. I'm sorry you had to endure that, but that's exactly how I'd always expect the low code solutions to behave. And that is 100% true. When I first started looking into automation, and we would have to use recorders, especially like the Selenium recorder, it was an absolute nightmare. I tried it one time. You know what? We're just going to go straight code. We're going to figure this out. It says the worst parts were edge cases for handling and scalability. Every once in a while, there would be a vendor trying to sell us a machine learning, artificial intelligence powered low code solution that promises the world. But the moment I dug a little bit deeper, it fell apart.
Bruh.
Let's do one more. Let's do two more. Should SI be used? SS helper, not the owner. Simple. Okay, no idea what you said. What's wrong? All right, so it should be. Oh, okay. The S should be an A here, but then they got it right over here. Oh my god, I don't know. Are you typing in parcel? That's mean. That was mean and uncalled for. You know what? You get one of these.
How dare you?
Let's see. Okay, last one. I clocked this as soon as AI QA tools started being pushed everywhere. That's a fact. I knew enough to dig in a little bit deeper and see how incredibly ineffective and fragile they are before my current company tried adopting them. It's been tough to convince others of this problem. However obvious it is to me. I feel like a Cassandra warning of fundamental failures of AI to provide actual QA. I don't know who Cassandra is, but whoever you are, Cassandra, thank you for the warning. And I do agree. I do agree that you have to be very, very careful with how you implement AI into QA. But you have to be very, very careful in how you implement AI into anything. AI into software development, AI into QA, AI into you being your therapist, AI into being your financial advisor, AI into being your lawyer, AI into being your best friend, AI into being your boyfriend or girlfriend. I'm just being honest.
I'm just being honest.
All right, but that was our icebreaker for today. Let me know your thoughts. Have you tried using AI in QA? I have. I personally have used it, but I use it very, very modularly. I don't have it do everything for me. I'm like, oh, give me this API request, and then I'm gonna do my own work and stuff like that around it. But so you got to be careful. You got to be careful. But I do think that there's a place for AI in tech, in QA, in software engineering, but you got to use it the right way. All right. Those are my thoughts. All right. Let me see if there's anything in the chat before we get to our first working segment. Let me see. Yeah, I know, Junior. It should be good. It should be better now, though. Junior says that your video is lagging ever so often. Yeah, the internet was kind of weak, but it looks like it got better. Let me do a quick speed test because I was doing some speed tests before the show started, and it was acting a fool. But hopefully we're better now. Let me see. We're doing better. It's not great, but it's better. So hopefully it lasts for the rest of the show. Who knows? But it is what it is. We're here to work anyways. We are here to work. Let me see what else we got. Junior says parcel tongue. That's what they said. Parcel tongue. It says much better now. Awesome. All right, so we're going to work on pushing our apps to Google Play and Apple. I was having some issue with Apple earlier, so I'm going to try to access it. If it doesn't work, we're going to go straight to Google, all right? So I'm going to sign out. I'm going to try to sign back in. And if I click here, I don't know what's going on here. Bad gateway. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's jump over to, we're going to jump over to, Google. Play Google. Where's Google developer? Developer dot play Google. I can never remember the Google developer. All right, there it goes. Let's go over here. So I saw that we had some downloads on the app and it was approved, or not approved, but we didn't get any negative feedback. So let's go ahead and try to promote the release to, is that the one that we're on? Latest 3.1. So 3.1.1 was for Apple. So we should be good on the 3. There was something that I was looking for though. Where do we edit Google? Where to edit app description? Because we were able to change. So log into your Google Play console, main store listing page for app. So where is the main store listing page for the app? Dashboard maybe? Where is the main store listing page? Let me see, is it this one? No, not that one. Well, I'm gonna let's start pushing it. All right, we're gonna go to here. We're going to dashboard, test and release. Let's go to open testing. We're gonna go to promote release. We're gonna say promote to production. And we're going to say, didn't think I had that one up there. Okay, I'll say 3.1. And we will say next. We found what? What problems do I have on my release? This release no longer supports 2,300 devices that were supported in your previous release. If you proceed, your app will not be available. That's okay. I can live with that. You gotta upgrade your devices. Go to it says go to publishing overview. Your changes have been saved to send to Google for review. All right, let's go here. And that is being kicked off. Let me see if I can figure out what this is going on with this Apple thing. So weird. Apps. I don't. All right, let me see. While that's happening, let's see if we can do search for this. Your message indicates you indicated a 502 bad gateway common HTTP. So this looks like a problem with Apple. How to fix a 502 bad gateway usually means a problem with the server. You can try refreshing the page, cleaning your browser cache, or restarting your device and route. What? That shouldn't be me. I don't know. Your bad signifies server-to-server communication breakdown where Apple servers couldn't get a valid response from another server, often due to network issues, misconfigured firewalls, or temporary overload, and that the unique key helps Apple pinpoint exactly what failed. To fix this, try basic steps like reloading or clearing cache. All right, I'm going to try to do that in in a private browser to see what exactly is going on. All of a sudden, I don't have any drop frames. Weird. Let's go to. So we're going to move this over here. And we're going to say, what if, I'm going to try it from over here, see what happens. Let's say account. Can I log in? Okay. I wonder if it's this one that's causing the issue. Let's say apps. Let me try one more thing. I wonder, I only have one Apple account though. Let me see something. Sign out. I don't understand. Let me try this one. Continue. If that works, then I'm just going to jump to the other. Two-factor authentication. What? My goodness. I'm so confused right now. Oh, you know what? Let me close this out. And I'm going to go back to over here. And we're going to go to developer account. I don't know. Like all of a sudden, like this was working perfectly fine earlier today. And all of a sudden I couldn't connect to Apple anymore. Let's try this again. Sign out. I'm going to try the route of not using the passkey one. Not sure why that should make a difference, but you know, who knows? God, I don't have an Apple. Let me see. Resend. Can I get it on this computer? No. Can't get to your device. Oh, I can do a text message. Let me do text message. Should be able to get that one. And all right, let's go with not show this maybe. One. All right, so now let's see if this makes a difference. Nope. That is so weird. I don't know why that's happening. I can't get into my Apple account. Well, I might just have to wait till tomorrow to publish to Apple. I don't know. I don't have any control over this. This is annoying. Let's see what's happening over here. So this one has 10 minutes to go. The rollout, and then once they approve it. Oh, wait a second. What in the world? All of us. Oh, now you should pull up. I just got the Apple account thing being signed in. So it's a little too late for that. I don't know what's going on here. I can't get to my apps on Apple. So weird. Let me check something real quick. If I go to the network console, and we go to, let me refresh this page. 502 bad gateway. That is so weird that we would be getting this. Let me see. Is Apple developer down? System status. Let's see. Developer. Apple Store. Oh, it is down. Apple Store Connect, which is what we're trying to connect to. Apple Store Connect app processing. All right, let's click on that. Today's 7:30 ongoing. All users are affected. Talk about timing. Talk about timing, right? The night that we need to get this stuff up and running, that's when it is down. So, you know what that means? Do you know what that means? For the rest of the night, we are going to pivot to working on getting ready for the new app. All right. So what I'm going to do, I am going to put Apple on hold. Once it's back up, then we'll start to, I'll keep this page open so that we can check the status, but it looks like Apple's having a lot of issues tonight for some reason. And the Google publish is happening. Running quick checks. Let me see, send one change for review. Let me see. These changes will be sent for Google for review. Let's see if it's done by the end of the night. Sometimes it takes a day or so, but I've sent it out. We shall see what happens. But we should be good to go. We should be good to go on the Google side of things. Let me go and take a look at this as well. Sweet. All right. What I'm going to do in this case is we are going to, what should we do? We're going to start working on the other one. Let me update this because we are technically done here. So I'm gonna add a boom, and I am going to update the title for this to say planning the mobile app for Tech Barbarian coaching portal. How long is that? Not bad. All right, cool. So we're going to pivot. We're going to pivot because Google is doing its thing. Apple is down. So there's only so much we can do. So now I'm going to go over to open up Android Studio. Gonna throw it over here. Actually, I need two tools open. So we're going to open up Android Studio and we're going to open up, what do you call the other one? We're going to open up WebStorm. So let's go over here. We have Android Studio open. I'm going to open up WebStorm. So basically, here's what we're going to do. We are going to take, we're going to pull in the code for the coaching portal, and we're going to direct Kilo code to, we're going to create a new project in Android Studio for the mobile app for the Tech Barbarians coaching portal. And we're going to direct Kilo code to, you know what? Should we use anti-gravity? Already start off with anti-gravity? Let's do it. Let's start off with anti-gravity. Instead of, do I want to do that? I do. Let's do anti-gravity. I'm going to turn off, let's close down Kilo code. I'm going to open up anti-gravity. Anti-gravity. Boom. For all you anti-gravity lovers, we're going to use anti-gravity to, let's see, close everything. we're gonna use anti-gravity to start building the mobile app. I might end up switching over to Android Studio at some point if I get tired of using anti-gravity, but anti-gravity can actually get us started. So here's what we're gonna do. So let me open up the other project. We're gonna go to, I knew I have this here. There it goes, Tech Barbarians Coaching. Let's say this window. So basically what I'm gonna do is do a git pull to pull in the latest changes. All right, we got everything pulled in from the Tech Barbarians coaching portal. And we are going to say, and I need to take the path of this folder, copy absolute path, and I'm gonna go into anti-gravity. I'm gonna do a new folder. Where would I do that? New workspace. This is the part that always confuses me with VS Code. Let me see. Oh, there's an upgrade. Let me see. Restart to upgrade. I always get confused with VS Code because I'm like, all right, how do I create a new project? I know how to create a new project in all of my JetBrains tools, but I always seem to struggle with that with VS Code. So while anti-gravity is restarting, it's updating. I'm gonna go and pull up Chrome and say how to create new project in Visual Studio Code. Is to create a new project in VS Code. Essentially, you create a new folder and open it as your workspace. Then use an integrated terminal with language-specific commands like .NET New, Flutter Create, to scaffold, etc., etc., etc. Okay, fair enough. So file, open folder, create a new folder for your project. I don't like that, but it is what it is. We're you know, make it. That's one of my gripes with VS Code. But people swear by it. Let's do let me do File Explorer. You have not opened a folder yet. So let's do open folder. And I'm just gonna put it in the same studio projects folder because it's just easier that way. And I'm gonna say new folder, and I'm going to call this Tech Barbarians Coaching Portal Mobile, right? Maybe I should do underscores. Nah, we'll do that. All right, so now I'm gonna say open this folder. And we trust the author because I am the author. And now we're going to do our planning. And we're going to put anti-gravity to the test here. I'm going to tell anti-gravity that we have this web application at this path on our computer. We want to create a mobile app that connects that web application using Flutter. I would say you're using React Native, but I'm more comfortable with Flutter at the moment, and I don't want to. I'd rather produce this instead of like going on a wild goose chase on React Native at the moment. I'm also not the biggest fan of React, let alone React Native. So we're going to stick with Flutter and go from there. So I'm going to say that I built a web app called Tech Barbarian Coaching Portal. All the files, code, connection to Supabase can be found at this local path. I'd like to create a plan to build a mobile app that integrates all of the features that we have on the web, on the mobile app, and connect to the Superbase that the mobile app or that the web app is using, so users can have a seamless experience, whether on the web or on the mobile. We should use Flutter for building the mobile app. Take a look at the front end and CSS, or how the layout and color of the app is presented. I think that's everything, right? So let's go ahead and send that off to Gemini. Make sure we're using Pro. All right, let's go ahead and send that off and see what happens. We are off to the races. On your marks, get set, go for it. All right, there we go with our first segment of tonight. We had to pivot because we've pushed to Google. We're waiting for approval. Apple unfortunately is down. Let me go in. It says inspecting web app files via terminal due to workspace restrictions and checking mobile project status. I am going to accept. And we can go over to break. We can go over to break. Let me see if there's anything in the chat before we get to our first break time topic of tonight. Let's see. We have my guy Junior taking off. Shout out to you, Junior. Thank you so much for tuning in. You enjoy your Bible study. Let me see. We have CMD in the building over on the Twitch side of the game. Says howdy there. Howdy to you as well. Thank you so much for tuning in.
I appreciate you.
All right. Let's get into our first break time topic of tonight, which is ChatGPT. They're going to start showing ads to us? What?
How dare you?
Will you still use ChatGPT if they're showing ads? Let's just jump right into this for tonight. Let me see, find it. Let's go to here. All right, let's go take a look at this video. ChatGPT, they want to give us ads, apparently. This video is by Sky
Now, it
News.
appears the free ride is over for ChatGPT users, with OpenAI to soon show advertising next to its chatbot answers. It's a big U-turn for the company's CEO, Sam Altman, who said less than 2 years ago he hated ads.
I kind of think of ads as like a last resort for us for a business model. I would do it if it meant that was the only way to get everybody in the world like access to great services. But
Is it an end of an era? Did Google and XAI drive out OpenAI? Will you still use? Because here's my guess. We haven't read, we haven't watched the whole thing yet. But my guess is that OpenAI is going to start showing ads to users who are using the free model, and then those who have the paid model, they will get no ads. However, remember, Netflix and Amazon Prime, they also show you ads, although you're a Prime member or you're a Netflix subscriber, unless you get the top dog tier. So I don't know what OpenAI is going to do, but already, how do you feel about OpenAI giving you ads? Are you surprised though? Because how long did you believe that they were going to give it to you for free? Right? How long did you think that they were going to give you a free therapist, a free best friend, a free boyfriend or girlfriend? No, 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 no. Because already, if you're trying to use it for code, you're not using the free version. It's not going to work. It has no chance.
Do not come.
But for all the other uses to make you feel good, to give you some recipes, to give you some workouts, all the stuff that we use a free one for, they're like, they literally told you.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
And they want
More money, more money, more money.
right? So let's keep watching.
If we can find something that doesn't do that, I'd prefer that.
Let's say good morning to our Image Matrix tech editor, Juro Sen. Well, I say our editor. You're not ours, Juro. I feel like you're mine. It's great to have you on.
You can have me, mate. You can have me.
It's great to have you on every week. And this is an interesting one, isn't it? Why such a turnaround for Sam Altman and ChatGPT? And what's it going to mean for those who use the service?
It's a really good couple of questions, and the reason is that there are so many people who don't want to pay for AI that the amount of people actually paying for services with OpenAI for ChatGPT isn't enough. And you know they're launching this, which will happen in Australia right now, which is the Go version, and this is what the ads will look like. They're just down there at the bottom, and what they're doing is trying to minimise this impact on your screen. So the reason that they need it is that they want to raise something like $1.4 trillion over the next 8 years. That's US dollars. I couldn't even be bothered converting that in 8 years to Australian. And that is for data centers and other things like that. So you're going to look at ChatGPT showing ads only in the free tier and in the Go tier, which is coming out, and they're testing in the United States. This comes after the health component of ChatGPT 2 became quite controversial. It's rolling out in Australia, and you throw your own health data in and it talks to you. So I don't know about that. It's really starting to change a bit, all this AI and the ability to not just do these daily activities as you see here, but getting personal data. So you've got to be careful about what you put in there, but ads coming in the free tier and in the Go tier, and it'll cost you $13 a month to get in. But essentially they need money because this, even though they're making lots, they are burning heaps of their VC cash, and that's why we're getting ads. They'll start testing in the States first, though, Alex.
So basically backing to pressure from those that have provided the money to grow the.
I mean, how long did you think that ChatGPT, that OpenAI was going to be a nonprofit, a free thing? I mean, it costs billions to run it. I wonder, you know, let's see. Cost to operate OpenAI data centers daily. While the exact figures are secret, estimates for running OpenAI infrastructure, particularly for models like GPT-4 and Sora, range from hundreds of thousands to potentially over $15 million per day. With past figures citing up to 700,000 daily for older ChatGPT models and much higher projections for current needs, driven by massive GPU/server clusters for inference and massive training expenditures. This is what I'm looking at over here. That's what I'm looking at, right? Estimates, early estimates, 2023, around $700,000 daily to run infrastructure for early ChatGPT models 3 and 3.5. Do you guys remember when 3? I forgot 3 used to exist. I forgot there was a ChatGPT 3. Like, we were so excited when that came out. This is crazy. Massive spending 2024, 2025. OpenAI spent roughly $9 billion in 2024, losing $5 billion with significant compute costs for training and inference. Future projections. Some experts estimate OpenAI's current annualized spending could be over $5 billion or about $15 million per day, especially with new models like Sora. And you can't even invest in them to make that money. Let's keep watching.
Business.
Essentially, Alex, what they're doing is they're trying to get more money because they put so much into it, the other big companies, and they need to see a return. And that is exactly right. And I just hope we don't see in those other tiers advertising creeping in later on. And I hope other companies don't decide this is the way to go. But ads, they were there from the start of the internet, and I think it's been seen as an easy way to perform when it comes to raising revenue.
Yeah, and us grumpy old men don't like it, but probably younger users grow up getting used to it.
Nobody, and I repeat, nobody. Like, okay, all right, let's get back. There are some people who like ads because there are some marketing people who will look at the ads that are being shown to get some ideas. But for the grand scheme of things, nobody likes ads. Nobody likes ads. And do I think that other services are going to offer ads? With Grok, for example, you have to be an X member in order to use it, so they probably won't have ads. For Google, for Gemini, they probably will. Well, I don't know. I take that back. They might not, because Google's source of income is so vast, it's so wide that it's probably Gemini is probably a gateway into the Google ecosystem. So they might not charge for that the same way they don't really charge for Gmail unless you run out of space. And they might be more inclined to limit your daily usage over putting ads, although there are ads in Gmail. So they might, I don't know. Google might do it. Shall find out. But let me know your thoughts. Drop me a comment. Let me know, how do you feel about ChatGPT putting in ads? So when you're using it, you're gonna get your answer and an ad, and that ad is probably gonna be related to what you were searching. The question is, can you really trust the AI response if the response is associated with an ad? That is the question that we must ask. All right. That is our first topic for today. Let me see anything in the chat. If not, we're gonna jump right back into work. All right. Before we even do that, let me check to see how Google is going. All right. So let's take a quick look. Our changes for Google are in review. Once they're approved, they will be automatically published, and we should be able to update the app. So look out for it. Check out the time cost calculator app inside of the Google Play Store. Eventually, we'll get it inside of Apple as well. Let me do it. It's been like this for over an hour now. Yep, still down. So let's go ahead and go back to working on the new app. Let's go to put up another 20.
Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go over here. All right, so it said, where's my mouse? All right, so it said that it's doing all this, reading web app configuration, package, Tailwind, Explorer. All right, let's say accept. And let's say accept that one too. So it's analyzing. So basically what we did was we imported the Lovable created Tech Barbarians coaching portal, which doesn't create mobile apps. And we took it in from GitHub. We took the location, we passed it to Gemini. We created a new folder to create our mobile project, and we passed it into Gemini. And not to Gemini, into Anti-Gravity. We're using Anti-Gravity. And we said that look at the code for the web version of the application, and I want you to start planning the mobile version of the application so that we can create the mobile version in Flutter. Examining Supabase, client config, and app routing structure. Let's say accept that. So right now, just doing reconnaissance, just doing research to see how we can actually create this mobile version of the app. I think that it should be fairly simple. Can't be 100% sure about that. Knock on wood. So now it's building the implementation plan. And now I'm writing the implementation plan file, which is the current deliverable. Let's see. Let me see, where were we? I've gathered all the necessary information from the web app, including Supabase credentials, feature list, and design system. I am now documenting the detailed implementation, implementation plan.md to guide the Flutter development. Initialize task list and analyzing existing web application, inspecting web apps via terminal due to workspace restrictions, and checking mobile project status, reading the web app configuration, all of that, examining Supabase client config, creating implementation plan based on analysis. I have created the implementation plan for the mobile app. I've extracted the Supabase configuration and designed the design system details. So plans, stack, Flutter, RiverPod. What is RiverPod? I've never heard of RiverPod. Design direct port of the cyberpunk theme, colors, shadows, glow effects, auth, reusing existing Supabase instance. So what is, okay, let's go. What is RiverPod? What is RiverPod in Flutter? Let's go and take a look at that. RiverPod is a powerful reactive caching, data binding, and state management framework for Flutter. Created by the same authors as the popular provider package, it was developed to address many of the limitations of the original provider, offering enhanced safety, flexibility, and testability. Compile time safety, decoupled logic and UI, dependency injection, asynchronous data handling, performance optimization, and testability. Core concepts provider. These are objects that encapsulate a piece of state and allow widgets to listen for changes to that state. There are various types for different use cases, such as state provider for simple values, feature provider for asynchronous operations, and notifier provider for complex logic. All right, makes sense to me. So let's go over here. And we're going to say I have created an implementation plan for the mobile app. All right, so got rid of all of that. Reusing, okay. Please review the implementation plan. Since you asked me to create a plan, I am stopping here for your review. If you want me to start implementing phase 1, just let me know. Detailed plan for porting the Tech Barbarians coaching portal to a Flutter mobile app includes architecture dependencies, theme, translation, and feature roadmap. So let's go. Let's take a look at this implementation plan real quick before we go any further. The goal: build a Flutter mobile application that mirrors the functionality and cyberpunk aesthetics of the existing web application, Tech Barbarians Coaching, connecting to the same Supabase backend. So that's the goal. That's what should make it. It should make it super easy, but you know how we get down over here. Nothing is ever as it seems. All right, tech stack, Flutter, backend, Supabase, shared with web, state management, Flutter, RiverPod replaces React Query and context, routing, Go Router replaces React Router DOM, UI library, custom cyberpunk widget, matching shade, CN, Tailwind CS, or Tailwind styles, icons, lucid icons, matching web, design system. We will port the CSS variables to a Flutter theme data. And then we have the colors that we're going to be using, the fonts, foundation and auth, initialize project, Flutter create, dependencies to install, Supabase Flutter, Flutter RiverPod, Go Router, Google Fonts, Lucid Icons, Flutter Animate. It sounds very similar to what we did with the coaching portal. Not coaching portal, the speech app. There was no existing web app, but all of these libraries sound very familiar. And that's why I wanted to go with Flutter, because I'm like, we have our time cost calculator in Flutter. We have the speech app in Flutter. It just makes sense to have this in Flutter. And then maybe later on in the year on a separate app that is, maybe a starter app. Maybe if I end up creating a game with my son, we might use React. I don't know. We shall find out. All right. Theming, create app theme, class, mapping, and CSS variables to Flutter colors. Authentication, setup, Supabase client, create auth repository, build login page and sign up page with cyberpunk styling. Implement auth state listener to redirect to the dashboard. Core navigation and dashboard. All right, got all of that. Phase 3, key features, iterative, coaching sessions, my sessions, goal, category, accountability mirror, rewards vault, cookie jar, my journal. Hold on one second. Let me see something, because I think that there are a lot more. Let me see, git branch. What branch are we on? Oh, yeah, there's only one branch. We're on the main branch. So I think there's a lot more features that I could have caught though. We have the health stuff. We have the Patreon authorization. Okay, well, whatever. We'll catch that on the back end. All right. So verification plan. I think we can get started, and then as we see what it's actually building, we can go from there. So let's go with the implementation plan. Detailed plan for porting the Tech Barbarians coaching portal to a Flutter mobile app. Include architecture dependencies, theme translation, and future roadmaps. All right. So I think in the future roadmap, that's where it's going to have all of our additional features that we have, but it's not listing yet. You know, it's just phase 1. So let's go to proceed. All right, so initialize Flutter project, dependencies implementation plan approved. Moving to execution, I will initialize the Flutter project in the mobile directory and install the necessary dependencies. So Supabase, so I'm gonna go and open this as well to see. So it's going to do this inside of the Tech Barbarians coaching portal mobile. That's where we want it. Flutter create, and then techbarbarians.coaching. Fair enough. Project name, Tech Barbarians coaching mobile. Why is it putting it? It's going to end up putting it in a subfolder, but that's fair enough. Whatever. Let's go with that. Oh, look at that. It created everything already. I guess it's the name of the project. I guess it's just the name of the project, so no biggie. Let's see. So it got it set up, selected signing code, got all of that. You can find the general documentation for Flutter. Sorry, this smaller. Make this bigger. In order to run your application, we need to do cd flutter run, but we're not trying to run the application. Adding dependencies. So now we're going to do the add the Supabase Flutter, the Flutter River Pod, the Go router, Go font, Lucid icons, Flutter animate. So let's go ahead and do that. Run, accept. So now it's actually installing all of our dependencies, all of the modules, the tools, the plugins that we're going to need to use to build this application to connect it to our Supabase. Implementing so now we are dependencies installed. I am now creating the folder structure and implementing the core theme, app theme, covering the colors and styles from the web design system. I will also set up the .env class to hold the Supabase secrets. Okay. And I'm going to take it off screen right now, just in case it ends up showing the Supabase secrets. I don't want it to do that. Hopefully it doesn't do that. But you never know. You know how this thing loves to expose, so we're not going to allow that to happen this time. And I think we might be all right. Let me see. Don't know if it created it yet. It's creating all the pages. I can see that. File, but it hasn't created the .env, and I'm afraid of showing it create the .env. It did not show it. All right, so let's take a look at what we have so far. Let's go over to here. And it says implementing app theme and core configuration, creating Supabase constants and entry point, creating placeholder pages for login dashboard to resolve errors. Foundation complete. Before implementing the complex auth logic, I will run a static analysis to confirm the setup is error free. So it's going to run the command flutter analyze and make sure that everything is running well. So let's go ahead and run that. And 12 issues found. Well, let's have it figure it out. Implementing, okay, so I guess those 12 issues weren't that serious, I guess. Implementing auth repository and auth state notifier. So let's go ahead and do that. So now it's setting up the ability to authenticate into our Supabase app. One reason that I like to use, which probably when this is done, I'm probably going to switch over to Android Studio, because it's just so much easier to start up your emulator, all that, and instead of having to I don't, you know what? Let's research it. Let me see how to start Android emulator in VS Code. How to run Android emulator. Oh, so there's an option for create Android emulator. Where is that? Tab the device section, bottom section of VS Code. Bottom section of VS Code. I don't see that. What's this? No. I don't see that yet, but we'll find it. Implementation complete, verification phase and starting. I will run static analysis to create a basic widget to test to ensure the app renders and the initial route is correct. Running final analysis and widget and creating widget test. So let's go ahead and run that. And Flutter test. Let's run that. I'm very curious how it's going to do with these tests, because like we were reading earlier, AI and test, they do not get along well at all. We had one test fail. Updating walkthrough artifact. I had a snag with a recent Flutter update. The test failed. Flutter test failed, and it seems. Oh, okay, fine. Flutter version. Verify. Okay, run the test again. Let's see. Some tests are still failing. And that's what I said. Like when it starts with the initial test, it always gets a little wonky. Especially with the widget test, because you got to do like the pump and verify, pump and wait, all of that. I am not a fan of Flutter tests. Maybe React Native has a leg up on that. I still haven't used React Native to be able to say one way or the other. Hopefully we get to that very soon. Oh my goodness, it's like, it's gonna be a nightmare. I'm telling you, a lot of the time it ends up trying to do these tests as opposed to just working on the, like, I'd rather be the one to try to figure out the test instead of having Flutter try to figure out the test, because it always has a nightmare. But it did it though. It finally got it. It says I have successfully initialized the generic mobile app Tech Barbarians coaching accomplished. Project setup, created Flutter app, theme, Cyberpunk, authentication connected to Supabase. I don't see a .env file in there, but that's fine. Navigation, setup Go router with auth redirection. Verification, verified the setup with static analysis and widget tests for the login screen. Next step, would you like, for the next step, would you, for you would be to implement the specific features, sessions, journals, etc., as detailed in the implementation plan. I would like to see if I can open the app on a actual device, like an actual emulator or something. Let me see. Let's go to run in debug, remote explorer extensions. And let's see, do Android. Is there an Android emulator in here anywhere? Flutter, AVD manager. But I have it. Let's install the AVD manager. I have AVD though. Let's see if this makes a difference. Where did I go to? Oh, okay. Let's go over here. Update SDK root. Ooh. I don't know. Maybe it would be, let me see, Android Studio. How would I find? So let's say, let me do this. Let's go to, where is AVD manager stored on, or where is Android SDK stored on Mac when installed via, what did we install it by? Android Studio. It would be library Android SDK. All right, there we go. Let's go. Let's try that. Update path, and we're gonna say library username. Wait, our library Android. There we go. SDK. Let's do. The SDK path failed. The library folder in your user directory is hidden by default in Mac OS. It's showing for me. All right, so find the SDK. This will take you to the SDK folder. Oh, okay, let's do this then. Let's say we click on this, we say update. What? We say that. Update. Why are you taking me into the folder?
Lunch break! Lunch break!
Why are you taking me into the folder? We shall figure that out. So when we come back, we'll open up Android Studio to see where exactly it's storing that SDK, to see if we can just piggyback off that same SDK and then go from there, all right? But let's go to break and see what we got going on. Let me see if there's anything in the chat that needs to be addressed. If not, we're gonna jump right into our next topic of tonight. All right, let's jump into our next topic, all right? So next up, will the government outlaw technology for children? So basically this video is talking about kids getting addicted to technology like tablets, smartphones, social media. Let's give it a listen to.
Here's a question. Is screen time threatening your child's brain development? A panel of expert witnesses sounding the alarm during a Senate hearing yesterday.
You try to take the iPad away, and the kids resemble withdrawal symptoms. Do you see that, Ms. Shurkin?
Yes, these are health-harming products. They trigger reactions in people that are, and especially in children that are unsafe. And I believe that it is in the best interest of all children to limit their access.
Do you believe social media platforms like YouTube and TikTok knowingly design addictive features targeting kids?
I do. That's their business model. The more time people spend on it, the more money they make.
Lawmakers from both parties have proposed legislation to try to reduce children's use of social media. But in the meantime, experts are also advising parents to wait as long as they can before letting their children create accounts.
So here's a question for you guys, right? Is it the government's job to parent your kids? All right. Should the federal government, and over the past however many years, you see how the pendulum swings between the party that's in power, should the government be able to parent your child? So that therefore they can say your kid should not have access to an iPhone, a tablet, AI, whatever, or should it be your job and your responsibility to look after your own kid to make sure, to look after your own kid to make sure that they are not using these tools inappropriately? Who should be responsible for your kids? The government or you? Now, if a child goes and uses this, and let's say now they mandate that these companies put in timers, limits for how long a kid can be using let's say Facebook, for instance. And then somehow the kid, because these kids are smart, I've seen my kid go and log into YouTube and start watching this stuff. Should these companies get fined because, you know, their job is to get you addicted just like any other drug, and it's your job to protect yourself and protect your kids from not getting addicted, right? Like it's the little game that we play. I will say this though: how are you using these tools? Are you just because a lot of times parents, they will use these devices to be a babysitter for their kids. And now their kids are watching all types of Coco Melon and Bluey and the little, the dogs that have the UK accent and stuff like that, Peppa Pig and stuff like that. And now your kids start sounding like them, like a cartoon. Whose responsibility is it? Are you going to let the government take over your kids, or are you going to be the one responsible? I honestly believe that we as a society are begging for the government to take over, because we allow the government to basically take care of us as adults. So of course you can say, but they're my kids. Yeah, but you let the government put all the rules in what your kids are allowed to do and not allowed to do.
And on that topic of screen time, nearly 5 million teenage social media accounts have been deactivated or removed from platforms 1 month after Australia's ban on social media for teens took effect.
Yeah, this landmark law down under bars any teen under 16 from having an account on any social media platform. But teens, as you might imagine, having mixed reactions to this change. Here with a closer look is family therapist and author of Raising Health.
What stops these kids, these teenagers, from lying? They can just put a different, like, are they checking for ID? Do you have to, like, now when you go to set up a social media account, do you have to give a picture of your government identification? And now what if the government says, oh, we suspect this person of doing this or that, hand over their ID so we can see where they live, so we can see where to access them, what they've been doing. Will a kid need, like, how are they going to enforce that a teenager is not lying? And if they are lying, who gets in trouble? Is it going to be the parent? Is it going to be the teenager? Is it going to be the social media company because they didn't, quote unquote, properly vet? They didn't properly vet if the person signing up was actually that age or not. And what if the kid they make a fake ID. So they, if they do require authentication and they make a fake ID to validate their account, now what? Right?
Healthy teenagers, Tom Kersing. And Tom, before we get to the reactions from the teens, psychologically speaking, is it possible to see results, positive or the withdrawal that you heard those lawmakers talking about? Is it possible to see these results 1 month in?
No doubt about it. I did, back in the spring, I did some lectures locally in the area, and one of the
I mean, of course, it's possible to see the positive or negative effects 1 month in, because when you're addicted to something and then you go to rehab, isn't it like within like 3 days and that you start showing those withdrawal symptoms and you start going through the whole effects? The social media addiction, it's like sugar addiction might be the worst addiction ever, but it's like any other addiction. I mean, it's probably not as immediate impact as other things are, but of course you can start seeing like the withdrawal symptoms immediately. But I do think though it is easier to get over the social media addiction than probably other addictions. Now the question is though, the challenge that comes with taking away social media from teenagers, from anybody. What are you going to replace it with? If you, let's say the government says kids can't use social media, cool. What are they going to do? Are they just going to go back to watching TV and be addicted to TV? Are you going to take them to do an actual activity, or are these children, teenagers, just going to be out in the street doing who knows what? The problem with when lawmakers get together to say we're going to ban this, what is the alternative? Because I honestly believe parents, they're just looking for free babysitters. So if they can have these kids getting fat and scrolling on YouTube and TikTok and watching Twitch streams all day long so that they can go and do whatever they want to do. Because I'll be honest, when previously, before, like when my son was a little bit younger, and I had to keep an eye on him, and I am working, I would give him the iPad. Like, look, you go and sit over there and you watch the iPad because I have a meeting to get to, and I have to take care of that. We don't really have that problem anymore. And the same, we used like talking about iPhones and iPads. The same iPad that he'll be watching some who knows what on YouTube, he's now learning how to read. Learning how to read using the same iPad. Found an app, purchased it, and every day now they spend about 15 minutes going through the different features, like the different lessons and the games that it comes with to learn how to read. So I do believe that it all depends on what you're using it for, monitoring the usage, and and finding replacement activities. You can't just take something away, especially for kids. They want to be active. So if you just take it away, you don't offer a replacement. If you don't put them in something valuable, then they're going to struggle, and that's when they start to act out and go crazy and stuff like that. All right.
Schools had banned phones during the school day. They had these pouches, right? And I was there 2 days after the ban, and I had teachers coming up to me and telling me that they've seen already changes in kids. One kid that was quiet in the classroom was raising her hand. There's interaction going on in the cafeteria. There's loudness in the hallways. Schools that have already been doing this for the past year, and I've spoken to representatives at some schools, test scores are up. Mental health episodes during a school day are down. Infractions are down. So it's a plus.
I'll say this. It depends on what school you go to, because I will tell you this. In some schools, you know what can happen? You know what can happen? Fights can go up.
Hey, a wise guy, eh? Heh.
Disruptions in class can go up, because in some schools, the kids might just be scrolling through the phone and not paying attention. But now you take that away from them, they're like making jokes in the class, being a disruption, bothering because they weren't paying attention in the first place. So now while they're not paying attention, they're going to prevent everyone else from paying attention as well. Do I support phones in the school, in the classroom? No, I don't. But how are you going to get the kids to not be a disruption to the rest of the class if you take away their distraction of, because they weren't there to learn in the first place. So like, I have to be here. They hit us with a Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. So they're here and they are bored out of their mind, and you take away their only way to escape the world. And they're like, what do I do now? What do I do?
Bruh.
Let me disrupt the class. Let me disrupt the class.
I'm all for it.
Is there any downside?
I don't see any downside. I've been talking about this stuff for 17 years.
I just gave you the downside. But here's a question. Do you think that any of those three up there went to the same schools that I went to, that you might have went to? I don't know.
I don't see any downside in terms of family, right? So families now, when you look at in the encyclopedia, and it sounds like the Brady Bunch, it's more like 4 individuals living under the same roof that don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
So we're going to start seeing that too, like the family system
The
start to
family
reunite.
unit comes closer together.
I mentioned the mixed reactions. Let's go.
I mean, to be honest though, if family starts talking more together, it might lead to more fights and conflicts. Like, oh, this was my escape from you. Now I have to actually talk to you and hear your thoughts and your opinion. All right, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, don't come at me, please.
How dare you?
Go through some of them. This is what Australian teens said when they were asked about it. Jack told the Times, "I was quite frankly annoyed when I opened my phone, went on Instagram to check what's happening, and it just said, I'm logged out. I'm old enough to know what's happening in the world, but the government is treating us like children." Reminder, he is 15 years old. 14-year-old Rave tells the New York Times it's undoubtedly done nothing, from my view. And a 14-year-old named Amy tells the BBC, "I often used to call my friends on Snapchat after school, but because I'm no longer able to, I went for a run." Taking that all in, what are your professional therapist takeaways when you hear those statements?
I want more kids running. I want more kids running.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I mean, it creates a setting.
But my thing is, why does it take the government banning kids using social media that makes, like I said earlier, you are making the government the parent of your child. You could say, because how do these kids get the social media and the phones in the first place? You give it to them. You give it to them. So you can take it away. Why do you want the government imposing more and more on your life? No, I don't like it whatsoever.
Do not come.
Environment for these kids. We have an overweight obesity epidemic among kids. You can't even ride a bike anymore. Even the bikes are electric now. So this is going to get kids outdoors. It's going to get kids together. It's going to create interaction. It's going to stimulate brain development. And being outside is what does that. So socially, educationally, family, win-win-win.
The major opposition from adults to this is that this is simply government overreach. What would you say to somebody who feels that way?
I agree.
I say that it's government overreach, and you are taking away the sole care provider for their kids. You ain't gonna like that one. You are taking the sole care provider for a lot of these kids.
I'm not a big fan of government overreach, right? But we're talking about our children. We're talking about an entire generation. We're talking about a mental health epidemic.
If we're talking about our children, if parents actually cared about their children, they would get involved. They wouldn't be begging the government to parent their kids, because the more you allow the government to start putting laws on what your kids can and can't do, what about when you disagree with what the government says for your kids? What if the government started saying, you know what, all kids must play football? And as a parent, you said, no, I don't want my kid to play football. It's dangerous. Nope. for fitness and for physical education, all kids must play football, and it's co-ed. You're like, no, I don't want that. Hey, you decided to let the government be the parent of your kids because you let them take away you appointed the primary caregiver to be technology, and then you let the government take over.
A social epidemic, a family epidemic, an obesity epidemic. Something has to be done.
Short of brute force, which growing up in an Italian family in northern New Jersey I am accustomed to, how should parents here in the United States sell a preemptive ban before the United States actually does a law like this to their own children? Like, how should the parents say, like, look, we're doing this, kids, because it's going to help you?
Yeah, well, I think the rest of the world is looking, and the United States may be on board with this, depending on what happens in Australia. And I'm going to predict it's going to be nothing but positive, good things. So have a conversation with your kids. Just say, look, this is going down. It's going to happen at some point. Get used to it. Number one thing I tell parents when I'm lecturing: phone can't be in the bedroom at night with the kids. Yeah. Bottom line, sleep deprivation problem. That's number one. Get that thing out of the bedroom. Now we get it out of the schools. We get the social media out of their lives, and we get our kids out of the cyber world and back into the real world.
You think your kids in bed by 10 p.m., they're really in bed by 2 a.m. if they have their cell phones in their rooms. That is a hard pass for me. That's great advice. Tom, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it, as always. Good advice all around.
And apologies.
So and here's the thing, right? You can do this, but why do you need the government to do it for you? Why do you need the government to mandate it for you? That's the part that I don't understand. Like, are we really unable to take control of our kids' lives that we need the government to make laws that say, oh, our kids can't use, my kid can't use social media? Okay, really? Anyways, whatever. Let's go back to, let me go ahead and check the chat real quick. I got my friend in the building. We got Magnetar. I'm going to start off with the Sith coach off. What's up, Magnetar? How are you doing? Hopefully you are doing absolutely amazing.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
And Magnetar says, I honestly think politicians purposely occupy themselves with stuff like this to avoid or distract from real issues. I agree 100%. How far does this go? It's going to go as far as when it's time to give birth. They're going to tell you what day, what time, what hospital. They're going to tell you all of those details of when you can give birth. And they're already, when you give birth, you already have to do the Social Security right away, right? So, but I will say that we continue to give them more power because we delegate our responsibilities to the government. You hear people crying about property taxes and student loans and all this type of stuff. We give away, and guess what? The government will, any power you give them, they will be happy to take it, and they will never, ever, ever give it back to you. We become so unhealthy that healthcare costs skyrocket, and then we want them to fix it, and then they make it worse. But that's our fault. See, that's what you have to understand. Every single problem that we have in the government is a reflection of us. We're handing them over our kids because we don't want to take care of them ourselves. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right. We are going to go over to the last working segment for tonight. Let's go ahead and put up our 20 minutes on the clock.
It's time to do.
All right, so we are going to be taking a look at how can we get our path for the AVD manager. I'm going to go and open up. Oh, we still have Android Studio open up, right? Let's go and it says to look in Android Studio. We're going to go to preferences. Let me see if it's in here. Let's go to settings possibly, and then go to SDK, Android SDK, And the path is, so this is the path over here. How come it's not finding it? Update path. It should just find it. Let's go to said library. Make sure. Techotrough library, Android SDK. Yeah, that's what it should be. That's what we did last time. Android SDK update. Oh my God, why are you not taking it? Let's see what we can do. Update SDK. All right. Update emulator path. SDK not found. Let's see what we can do about that. So let's say we close these out. And we do. And this is why I wanted to use the Android Studio, to be honest. Let's go ahead and close this. Let's say move this, and where can I add this? SDK. New tools, my friend. New tools. How do we add? All right. New. Add Android SDK to Visual Studio Code. So, why does it say? All right. Adding the Android SDK to Visual Studio Code primarily involves installing the SDK tools separately, often via Android Studio or command line tools, then configuring VS Code to locate the installation. We did that. We already have, so I'm looking at over here. We already have that. Note the Android SDK path shown at the top of the SDK Manager window. Using tool, all right. You need to set Android home and Android SDK environment variables so VS Code are related tools. Restart your terminal or run. Okay, configure VS Code. For general Android development using an extension, Android for VS Code, extensions may automatically detect. All right, so, all right, let's try this one then. Let's copy that. The Flutter extension will detect the SDK, run Flutter Doctor in VS Code terminal to verify the setup and get further instructions. Let's try Flutter Doctor. Let's go to terminal. Oops. New terminal. Let's go with let's try Flutter Doctor. Let's see if that's able to get us anywhere. Let's see. No issues found. So how do we start up the emulator then? Flutter Doctor. Let's see. Let's see. Start app and emulator. VS Code. I might just end up opening this up in I have an idea. To start an app and emulator using VS Code, you first need to have Android and iOS development environment properly set up. Launch the emulator. Type Flutter launch emulator or Android emulator launch. It's weird. All right, so let's do this. In the essence of time, I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time trying to figure this part out. I'm just gonna do open, and we're gonna go to Studio Project. We're gonna do this one. We're gonna say open. It's weird. I know it's weird, but I just want to see what's starting up in the application. So I won't do any code changes in Android Studio, but we'll use that to kick off the application. Just so we can see if there's anything that's starting right now. Who knows? So we'll continue to prompt, and then eventually I have to figure out how to get. This to work. Why is this taking so long to start? It's starting up on the other screen, but I can't drag it over yet for some weird reason. Not sure what's hold up. Next up would be to implement specific feature screens. He's gonna have to create a screen for everything. Probably even gonna have to do like something for coaching specifically. So it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how it does this. Well, while we wait, I'm just gonna go ahead and accept all, get everything moving. Next steps for you would be to implement specific feature screens as, all right, so let's take a look at the implementation plan. Where did it create the implementation plan? Let me see, walkthrough. Task, implement core features, iterative. All right, I think Android Studio might have crashed on me. I'm gonna force close it. Yeah, it's not responding. Can we continue implementing the feature screens? Let's go with that. Or can we make a plan to implement all of the features that the web version has? Let's do that. And I'm going to open up Android Studio in the meantime again. All right, let me go and open a project. We're going to say this one. All right, so things are happening. Detailed plan for porting Tech Barbarians coaching portal to a Flutter mobile app includes architecture dependencies, theme, translation, and feature roadmap. I thought we did that already, but all right. So I have updated the implementation plan to cover all features from the web application grouped into 5 phases: daily tools, cookie jar, progress vision, quarterly, weekly planning, weight tracking. So it has everything in there. Coaching, session and dashboard, settings, users, profile, subscription, notification, admin tools. Please review the implementation plan. We shall start with the phase 1 daily tools. I can start implementing the accountability mirror first. I think we should go with the phase 2 first, and then we do phase 1, and then we do phase 3. I'm going to say that I think it would be better to do to switch the order, to do phase 2 first and then phase 1, since the daily goals feed into the weekly nav, quarterly vision, and goals. What are part of the advanced features? Admin advanced features. Also, what are part of the advanced features that are part of phase 5? Does that include the health section, the health tools as well, the health and fitness tools as well, such as the fasting tracker? Let's do that. No fasting found. What do you mean by that? Reordering the phase, progress, vision, and clarification on advanced features. Fasting tracker. I'm researching the code base to locate fasting features and then update an implementation plan accordingly. Let's say, I know there's fasting in there. What is it? Track your weight, nutrition, exercise. Okay, there it goes. I found it. Let's see what it's gonna do. And I have, in the meantime, I have this emulator here, and I'm going to try to run the application to see what happens. Let's see if it actually starts up. Let's see what this is doing. Reordered the phases. Swapped order for phase 1 and phase 2. Fasting tracker, checked the code and found the fasting feature, fasting tracker, fasting sessions table. I've added this to phase 1 as it is tightly integrated with the weight loss journey. Fair enough. Phase 5, advanced. This primarily covers the admin dashboard, user management, and other cyber dashboards. I don't really think we need that for mobile, but whatever. The health and fitness tools are now part of phase 1. Ready to start phase 1, progress and vision. I can begin with goals and categories or quarterly vision. All right, cool. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can log in. See what happens if we log in. What's my login? Let me see. Look how fast we got into this part of it though, right? Let me see. What's my login? Let's go with, all right, let's try this one. Let me move that. Let's see here. Am I able to log in? I'm not sure. I don't think I can log in yet, to be honest, but whatever. Let's go ahead and proceed with the plan. Let's start implementing. I'm telling you, this might be a very, very quick build, to be honest with you. And we're doing it through anti-gravity this time. So like we're taking a lovable built application. We pass it through anti-gravity to see all the features, and we said build a Flutter app based on our web-based app. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Let's go accept. And let me see. We can't log in yet. I wonder if I have any logs. I'm looking at Android Studio. I don't think the login is fully implemented yet. But that's okay. We'll pick it up next week. If we can't log in today, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to log in next week, because it is a straight up port. It is a straight up port for like what we have in like the features that we have on the web app, get it into the mobile app. So right now it's doing our goals. And it's not touching the code. It's just reading the code from the web app, but it's not making any changes to it. Okay. Updating main navigation successfully finished. See, none of that stuff was doing that, so it makes sense that we might not be able to log in yet. Updating routing and main Dart to include goal categories. Doing the dashboard. I mean, if there was no dashboard page, then we wouldn't have been able to log in anyways. Let's do analyze. I'm currently awaiting the results of Flutter Analyze. And I guess that was fine. Looks like it's having some issues to diagnose build error. Yeah, it looks like it's having some issues. I finally pinpointed the core behavior. I'm focusing on why state is seemingly undefined. It'll figure it out. I'm aiming to fix the, all right. Refactoring goal category notifier to fit. And then all the stuff that we wanted on mobile, like to be able to have notifications, the fasting tracker, we can add that to the mobile. The reminders that we want, we can have all of that added to the mobile app that we can't necessarily get in the web app because of, like, you know, browser notifications and stuff like that. So if this gets completed before we end for today, then we're going to do a quick try to start it up, see if we can see anything. And if not, then we just keep it rolling for next week. We are live on Google, actually. Our app has been published to Google. I just took a quick look at that. Let me see. Oh, this is the part of well, there we have it. Let me see. Let's see where it's left off. Verifying fixes and searching quarterly vision, checking Flutter Analyze status and fetching full schema for quarterly reflections. Let's go and do that. And we can leave it at that, to be honest. And we could pick up next week. But I do think there's going to be a quick build and a quick win to make the coaching portal available on mobile as well. And then we can get the same way that we have the login for Patreon and stuff like that. We're going to end up adding like OAuth for Google on the desktop side as well as on the mobile site, mobile application. But I just think it's a good, and then every time we make let's say we make a change in Lovable, we can import, we can pull it in and say, oh, check out these new changes that were done and apply it to the mobile as well, you know? So the mobile will probably always follow the web a little bit, but never, I don't ever plan to have the web follow the mobile. Let's do this analyze. So it's working its way through phase 1. Let me go and check the store. Let me check to see if Apple ever got its act together. Apple is still down. That is crazy. Apple is still tripping. All right, next week we'll get back on. We'll publish the Apple app, the app on Apple. I'm gonna do this one accept, and then we are gonna go. Oh, I was gonna check to see if the app was on Google yet. Let's go to over here. Last update. Nope, it's not ready yet. Last update, January 13th. We shall. Should be available soon. All right. It is what it is. It is what it is. We'll pick up on this stuff next week. All right. We do have, let me check the chat, but we do have one more topic to cover tonight. Let me see. Magnetar likes what he's saying. All right. Let's go over to our last topic, last break. Boomers. The boomers, they won't stop working. They won't retire. They're taking all of the Gen Z jobs away. What? Does anybody believe that? Does anybody believe that? Let's see what they're talking about. Let's see what they are talking about. Let's go over to here.
It is a growing divide in the labor market. Boomers holding on to their jobs longer, leaving little room left at the conference table for poor Gen Z. New data showing that hiring for workers 25 and under, it's actually down more than 45% since 2019. But for those 65 and older, it's up 80%. Companies say they want day one ready workers. That means, well, less training and fewer entry-level opportunities for young Americans.
I'm turning 64.
Jackie, day one.
Are boomers day one ready workers? Boomers, like 65 and older, are day one ready workers? Isn't there like a technology gap that might be missing? Like, I gotta hear that. I gotta hear this.
Ready. I like that. I like that boomers are back. We'll talk about how sad we feel for Gen Z later. Your thoughts?
Okay, so on the boomer angle, I think this is a function of that we're living better as Americans. We're living longer. We're living healthier. Most boomers that I know are not working because they can't retire. That's part of the narrative. I'm sure there are people out there that fit that description. Most of the boomers I know don't know what they would do if they did retire.
Who do you know who's a boomer?
My parents.
Many people's parents and you. I think most people feel very vibrant at 64, as Charlie will evidence. He not only works here and writes for the Post, he's at the gym every morning. You're doing pull-ups, you're doing sprints outside.
Geritol works.
My point is, people are more energetic. They like making money. If they can stay in their job and be engaged with others, that's a positive thing for them. You know, there are studies that show when people retire or retire.
It says data average new hire age hits 42 years old. I think it matters about what job is being done as well, because our boomers, we're talking about like 60 and up or something like that, maybe 55 and up possibly. Are they competing with Gen Z for jobs? It sounds a little bit out of this world for me.
Retire too early.
Yes.
They get depressed. They start to slow down because they don't know what to do with themselves after working so long.
All right, guys,
you turning to me?
boomer.
No.
Weigh in.
Well, I am turning 64 soon.
Any plans to retire?
No.
No, I'm going to Davos next week, celebrating. Actually,
But to be fair, this guy, I have no idea who he is, but does he work for an actual person, or does he work for himself as like a consultant, as a reporter, or whatever it is? And is he in the position to be taking a job from a Gen Zer? See, I think them asking him, it doesn't really fit in with the narrative as much.
Going for the World Economic Forum, but here's what I would say: there is something to be said for competence, and I'm not saying all Gen. I'm not going to paint all Gen Zers and millennials with a broad brush. Or kind of going to do this, but one of the good things about being a boomer is that we benefited from a very good education system. The schools were yet to turn woke.
Yeah.
We actually learned a lot of stuff. We actually were forced to write coherently and have some, even if you were, in my case, my brother's the flip side, liberal arts. My brother was math. He became a doctor. He's a PhD and an MD. I became a lowly journalist, ink-stained wretch. But I had to know some math. Like I took a lot of upper level math, took a ton of econ. He had to learn some English. He had to learn how to write, which he does. The Gen Zers, they don't have that. They take Africana studies, gender studies. They don't have the basics, and it shows. And that's why boomers are. And you're never going to get rid of me. You're going to have to kill me.
So Brian or Lydia, are you going to come to the defense?
I don't know about that. I mean, with the whole epidemic of chasing degrees and stuff like that, people do make very, very poor decisions on what they go into student loan debt for. But I still think that there is a technological divide that possibly most older people are going to face. My biggest question is, if boomers and Gen Zers are fighting for the same jobs, does that look bad on Gen Zers or does that look bad on boomers for never actually progressing maybe? Because in my eyes, I would say that the boomers, they might, if they're not ready to retire or close to being ready to retire, they should be like the managers, the senior managers that are like using their expertise, their experience to guide and to lead the younger generation. But if they have the same jobs that the boomers, that the Gen Zers want and that the millennials want, Houston, we have a problem.
I was gonna lie to you, but I had to tell the truth. I'm just being honest.
Gen Z, is this actually sort of unfortunate because they're not getting that learning opportunity because the boomer maybe is taking the job?
Well, you know, boomer's better at the job.
You know what I totally agree with.
I don't know if that's the case. I mean, as we can see, like there are some older people who have very poor mindsets, money management, entitlement, and there's young people who have the same thing. I don't think it's the age that makes a difference. I think it's the mindset and the work ethic. I honestly don't see how a boomer and a Gen Z would be fighting for. I can't put it together how they're fighting for the same job. I would think as a Gen Z, you're looking for more entry level of whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you're in the process of graduating and you're like maybe working at a restaurant, maybe working at Starbucks or some coffee shop. As you study and as you progress, as you start applying for the job that you really want, and for you to have to be competing with somebody who is in their 60s for that same job, that sounds crazy to me.
Charlie, that I think boomers got a good education and they've added a ton of value and they know a lot. They're great mentors for Gen Z. But, you know, there are a lot of boomers who helped create the educational system that has really screwed up Gen Z. That's one of the problems is you guys.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Inherited a good thing, and most of you appreciated that, but some of you said, let's screw it up for the next guys. And so I do think Gen Z's got a little bit of
it was I mean, listen, boomers came up with.
Not to mention the whole Social Security fraud that Social Security, like how we're getting taken to the cleaners there's going to be no Social Security for the rest of the generations.
True Marxism, not some millennial, right? So, but that's a very, very small percentage, and it infiltrated the school systems and, you know, up and down, and it's actually filtered into like high school and grade school.
But you let it happen though. Like whoever you're blaming for this, your generation let it happen.
But it's like that much, but it caused that much damage. So I think that's one of the issues.
I mean, my last point is though, I do not like class or age group warfare kind of stuff. And I think so many of these stories are written to make Gen Z say, well, you should blame the boomers and you should have a grievance against them and they're against you and they're clogging up the system. You know, I call bunk on that. That's not true. That's a lefty, cultural Marxist kind of thing to do.
I agree.
And I think the generations can work together because one has the experience and the mentorship, and the other has the desire.
Although I do see.
Lydia, jump in.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm glad that you said that because I didn't like how it was pitting the Gen Z against the boomers. I'm happy for the boomers that they have a place in the workforce. That's really important because we need them and we need their wisdom and their guidance. The other thing I would say is.
But I'm still going to go back to the point. I don't see how they're fighting for the same jobs. I don't see how they're fighting for the same jobs. I think at a certain age, you have to be a mentor. You have to be a guide. You have to help manage. You have to help lead the new generation. There is no way possible that you should be fighting for the same job.
Is that it is never easy. It is never easy graduating from whatever, college, high school, and getting your first couple of jobs. When I was finishing law school, or actually when I was in the midst, we were starting the financial crisis. And I remember friends of mine who had secured summer associate jobs or even first offers right out of law school, they were being rescinded because the economic outlook was so uncertain, and these huge law firms were just not sure if they're going to have the work to employ all of us. And a lot of us had to get scrappy. You had to pound the pavement again. You had to stay committed and find a job and get a foot in the door, and you had to become adaptable. And that's what I like some of these CEOs talking about this.
I will say too, though, many people make terrible decisions with what they go to study, and this goes for like all age groups, all genders, everyone. They'll make terrible decisions with what they go to study. Like, for example, I want to go out of state for college, and I want to go to this big fancy college, and I have to live on campus, and I have to do this, and I have to do that. And now you come home with a $200,000 bill. And you know what you do when you come home, and you can't find a job. You can't find a job. And you know what they do? Well, I'm going to go get my master's. I'm going to go get my master's. So now you're in $400,000 in debt. And when you finally get offered a job, it pays like $30,000, $40,000 a year. And the cap is probably at $70,000. Then you want to become a social media content creator. You know?
Trend right now. Jamie Dimon, hey, young people, focus on the skills that are needed, not on the women's lit studies or art history studies. McDonald's, take responsibility for your own growth. No one's going to just hand this to you on a silver platter. You got to get in there and you got to figure out how to make yourself needed and how you can be of service. LinkedIn CEO, be adaptable and get rid of the 5-year plan. That is so important. And I hate to say it.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The people who are giving that advice, the Jamie Dimons, the LinkedIn CEO, the other person that was mentioned, people are trained to hate them. They hate the people who are like, it's like they can't see what's actually happening. They hate the millionaires and the billionaires and the trillionaires, but those millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires, they're the ones who make jobs possible. I'll take a look at my comments and you see so many people, they're crying and complaining, they're whining and they're moaning about, the oligarchy and the rich people and this and that and that. But then you beg them, you're on your knees groveling, asking for a job. Their innovation, their mindset, their risk to lead a company is why you have the ability to get a job. So for me, like I always say, I like to learn from what the top level people are saying. Where are they saying the market is going? And that's why during our breaks, we love to review this type of content to see where is the market going? What do we need to do? What do we need to learn? How can we use this to grow ourselves, our own businesses, so that we can make smarter decisions instead of being like whining, complaining, saying, oh, please give me a chance, please give me a chance. No, I say we have to go and create our own chances. We have to do the work. It's our responsibility. Nobody else. Nobody has to give you anything. Nobody owes me anything. I have to do the work. And if I fumble, that's on me. And I have to fix it. I have to rebuild.
And I think some of this is probably AI.
I was just going to say that.
And I hate to acknowledge that, because AI is making us more efficient. It's making some of us, not needed in the same capacity. It's changing the workforce, and maybe those entry-level jobs are just going to become fewer and far between. That doesn't mean to demonize AI, but we're just going to have to be adaptable and figure out where those entry-level jobs.
I was looking at adaptable.
AI is the new boogeyman. When in doubt, it's AI's fault. When in doubt, it's AI's fault.
A different way, actually, but also thinking about AI. The adaptability to me that those CEOs are championing there is saying to the worker, you better get on board the AI train, learn how to use it, learn how to make your job, yourself more valuable. For example, boomers.
That should be the goal every single day that you wake up. How can I make myself more valuable? How can I make myself more valuable? How can I make myself more valuable? Companies are looking to extract value. If you don't offer any value, you are not needed. So I will wake up early to meet with somebody in another time zone because they need my help, my experience, my expertise. I'm like, you know what? What time works for you? There's an emergency, let's do it. Let's figure it out. How are you, when I wake up in the morning, I ask myself, how am I going to add value into the world today? How am I going to add value into the world today?
Many of them, not you, have a hard time with technology. So,
how do I do Google?
And these kids might not have necessarily learned the mechanics of AI and how it can apply to a role, but you better learn it if you want to,
The Google.
Keep the
Google
machine.
Got to learn to.
Let's go from the Google to the Spotify. Pop quiz, who is a subscriber to Spotify?
Oh, big time.
The boomer is.
There you have it. There you have it. So stop the fighting. Stop the fighting. If the boomers are taking the jobs of the Gen Zs, then I think the boomers need to step up. I also think that the Gen Z, they need to step up as well to make sure that they are not whining, complaining about the millionaires and the billionaires. And they say, what are they saying that they need? And let me go and provide them what they need. And then you can build experience, and then you can grow and you can win. All right? That's everything. That is everything for tonight. We got my guy in the building, Rod Brown in the building. All right, let me stop the show real quick. Mr. Rod Brown, beloved brother Rod Brown, are you going live tomorrow? I've been waiting for a quote unquote real live stream from you for the past month now. It's been a month since you have been officially live. I don't count when you have all your friends on the panel with you as you being officially live. I think it's just a nice hangout session. Are you giving us a real show tomorrow, Rod Brown? Are you giving us a real show tomorrow? I need to know. I need to know. Rod Brown says, I say the same thing as well.
Are you ready?
All right, well, that is it for tonight. Hopefully you had a great time. We are almost, let me take a look at this real quick. We're making great progress building out this mobile application. So for those who missed it, I'll give you a quick recap. We tried to publish to Google, we're good. We published our app to Google. We tried to publish to Apple, but they are down for the count. So we started working on the Tech Barbarians mobile app that's going to connect to our super base and everything like that. It's going pretty well. So we're going to see if we can actually be able to, maybe next week, we see how far it's able to get, right? But that is it. Do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. Reminder, if you are a member of the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon, you should be able to connect with Resume Flow with the starter tier and start getting your resume analyzed, start comparing your resume to jobs, get a score, and you can get and you can start tracking your jobs and get interview questions and all of that good stuff, right? Rod Brown says, tune in and find out. Oh, he's gonna keep us in suspense.
How dare you?
Hey. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Let's tune in tomorrow to Rod Brown's channel to see if he is actually going live or if he's gonna hit us with the rope-a-dope again. That's everything. TechCoachRalph.dev, sign up over there, get access to Resume Flow. Very, very soon, you're gonna get access to the Tech Barbarians coaching portal so that you can help yourself level up. But until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Remember, we have software explorations. We're gonna be talking about the most important tool, the most important skill that you need in this tech space. But until then, my friends, Techotrough, we are out.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yeah. Thought you was riding. Thought you was 10 toes down. The second something shiny came, you folded. It's cool though. You just told me how to move. Watch this.
Used to think we was a unit, thought the back was covered. Thought you was my dog, man, thought you was my brother. Smiling in my face, shit, you really played a part. Acting like you with me, had me giving you my heart. But the loyalty was passive, man, that shit was see-through. Waited for your moment, that's what fake ones be, dude. Soon as opportunity came knocking on the door, you ain't even hesitate, you just wanna ask for more. You ain't look back once, you went your own way. Show me who you were, man, I got nothing left to say. I ain't mad, I ain't bitter, ain't no salt to spill. You just lit a fire, man, you just made the focus real. This a full court pressing, I ain't letting up. Put myself first, I'm filling my own cup. No empathy, no sympathy, I'm on my purpose. Y'all just flaky people, man, you make me nervous. This a full court pressing, I am all out focused. You ain't on my team, then you just a locust. I ain't mad, I'm motivated, time to run the score. Yeah, I'm locked in, man, I'm kicking down the door. You thought that burn would stop me, man, you got it backwards. You just gave me fuel, man, I'm moving only faster. I ain't got no time for what a flaky person says. I am on a mission, you are in my way. I'm cutting off the dead weight, I don't care who suffers. If you ain't with vision, then you're undercovers. Sleeping on the grind, I am wide awake. Every year you hitting me, just tell me what to take. And I'm taking everything I am putting first. All that fake love, man, it was a damn curse. Now the curse is broken, now I see the path. You just woke the monster, you can do the math. Yeah, this a full court, press it, I ain't letting up. Put myself first, I'm filling my own cup. No empathy, no sympathy, I'm on my purpose. Y'all just flaky people, man, you make me nervous. This a full court, press it, I am all out focused. Who ain't in my team, then you're just a locust. I ain't mad, I'm motivated, time to run the score. Yeah, I'm locked in, man, I'm kicking down the door. So I don't look around, I just look ahead. Every promise that I made to myself is fed. All focus, all gas, I ain't gotta break. I don't care about your feelings or your new mistake. You made your choice, and now I'm making mine. My purpose is the only thing I see. I'm on the line, you are just a ghost, man, a lesson that I learned. Thanks for showing me that my own back is all I earn. So I'm holding it down, I'm the one I trust. Turning all the betrayal right in the dust. Watch me build an empire while you watch me from the side. Should've stayed down, man, you should've learned to ride. Full court present. All focus, all out. No sympathy. Yeah. Locked in. Purpose.